Hey there, welcome to episode 52 of Fresh Air at 5, the podcast, the week of December 20th to 24th. Starting off the week, you're going to hear from the House of EdTech, the 2021 EdTech Smackdown, fantastic, and we're going to wrap up with my reflections as we approach Christmas Day on December 25th, and I finish off recording on December 24th. Thanks for stopping by. Listen to the end. Please do so. Look forward to hearing from you. You can reach out to me on Twitter at Brian Carr or at FreshAirAtFive and on Twitter and drop a message to me. Love to hear from you. Have a great day. Okay, and here we go. Episode 52.
I'm Dr. Molly Ness, host of the End Book Deserts podcast, a part of the Education Podcast Network, just like the show you're listening to now. Shows on the network are individually owned, and opinions expressed may not reflect others. Find other interesting education podcasts at edupodcastnetwork.com.
Welcome to Fresh Air at 5, the podcast. I'm your host, Brian Carpenter. Fresh Air at 5 is my regular attempt to exercise by walking about my neighborhood to take in podcast content, then reflect in an unedited video, which I finally post to my Twitter channel. This podcast will be a regular collection of the audio from these selfie videos. You can follow me on Twitter at FreshAirAtFive or check out my website, briancarpenter.com, for other content I have created and collected. Hey, PLN, December 2021, and this is the first day of my winter break officially, and I'm not going to school today. Thankful that I got to, well, I didn't sleep in, but I'm out here for Fresh Air at 5. My son's still working, getting him up and out the door, so that is good. Okay, sorry, coming up a hill here, out of breath. This morning, top of my queue, something I've been anticipating for a long time has been the 2021 EdTech Smackdown on House of EdTech, and Chris has brought us a collection of audio bits from listeners and fans of House of EdTech, me included. I put an entry in this year, and fantastic, Chris, to hear. It's great to hear all the voices of all the different people that have listened, and Dr. Sam Fesich's students that are up-and-coming teachers are paying attention. And Dr. Sam, that's fantastic that you are sharing your learning through House of EdTech with your students, and that they are paying attention, because I think it's super critical and important that we do share what we learn with our students. All right, awesome, Chris, fantastic. Yes, I've been anticipating and looking forward to this. And Derek Larson, thanks for curating all the resources over the years. And there's such great content that has been shared here. But what I'm hearing the everydayness of what we are learning, and it is really important to note that we're talking about things that are everyday and possible by all of us. Nothing super grand, nothing super crazy, but tools that we can all touch, that our students can touch. So keep that going. Make technology, EdTech technology, accessible to our students so they can create and make great things. All right, happy beginning of episode 52 of House of Fresh Air at 5. And Chris, thanks for your encouragement. Okay, bye. One more thing for December 2021, wrapping up Fresh Air at 5 this morning. It is chilly out here, people. -2 Celsius. Wind is blowing at probably 20 kilometers an hour, as you can hear in the earbud here, the microphone. And but it's good. I got out for my walk, feel refreshed and energized, ready to step into my day. All right, I listened to the Innovator's Mindset podcast, highlights from 2021, and George brings us this week's highlights from the Innovators Mindset podcast about well-being and how what everybody has said about well-being this past year as he interviewed them and talked with them. And it's really great to hear. George's Mindset Mondays are in there and all kinds of greatness. So take a listen, be encouraged. People, we got to take care of ourselves and no one else is going to take care of you. So you need to do it yourself. They're not going to be able to do the things that you need to do for your well-being. They can help you along the way, but it's ultimately us getting down to it. I'd like to send somebody out with my phone to go record podcasts in the morning and get some exercise for me when I don't feel like it, but that doesn't serve me well at all, so I have to get out and do this myself. All right, peeps, have a fabulous day. Have a great day. Stay warm where you are. And we got snow here over the weekend. And so I think we're going to have snow for Christmas. All right. See you later. Bye. Hey, PLN, Tuesday, December 21, 2021. Happy winter to you. And today is winter solstice. It's the beginning of the winter season on the calendar and like astronomically. Yes, that's the one I'm looking for. And that means that today is the shortest day of the year. And from here on in, we're going to get more daylight as the days go on. Go daylight. That's what I have to say. Okay, so this morning I slept in, and that's okay because I'm out for my walk now. And I listened to a new to me podcast as part of my listening open-mindedness from podcasts that are in the podcast or the Educational Podcast Network. By Chris Nesi and friends, and I'm part of that network. And I listened to Dr. Molly Ness on her podcast called End Book Deserts, and she had guest on Melissa Spracolati or something like that. I'm sorry, Melissa, I got your name wrong, but from the Bookham organization that works in Nashville, Tennessee to bring books to children of all ages in that community and gets books into their hands. All right, so I'm going to say at the outset that I am not an avid reader yet, so I'm keeping my mind open. I had not a fantastic experience reading growing up. It was very forced, and I wasn't interested in the Hardy Boys or other things that were thrust upon me at the time. So maybe that's part of it, but I don't know. But that doesn't matter. The point is that my wife and my daughter are avid readers, and my daughter, she's in grade 8 this year and has read 85 books since January and just loves them. And we let her pick her books so that she can read. We don't give her books to read if she's not interested in those books. So I think that's a significant thing, that there has to be an interest and we can see ourselves represented in those books. So Melissa and Molly talk about that in this episode of the podcast about the relevance of reading. And so as a non-reader type, I think it's a great idea. So take a listen to this and see what reading programs are around you for kids in your community. Thanks, Molly. Thanks, Melissa. Okay, bye. One more thing for December 21, 2021. Just wrapped up listening to another dynamite episode of Got Tech, the podcast with Eric and Nick. And gentlemen, again, you just keep bringing it. Like, so very good. I don't know if you've mentioned it on your podcast yet, but Adobe Spark isn't called that anymore. It's called Adobe Creative Cloud Express. So that's a change in case people are looking for Spark. The Spark web address will redirect to Adobe Creative Cloud Express. And they are changing their subscription model a little bit. That some of the things that were free are no longer free. It's looking a bit more like Canva. And you and I, we talked about Canva back in the spring. And I am more and more into Canva as we are going along here, because Canva for Education is a pretty sweet looking tool, and it looks like Adobe Creative Cloud Express is kind of turning in that same direction. They've got class codes in the States. In Canada, we don't have that yet, but there's I believe class codes, so you can give your students a code to that to get them in or your IT can set up their accounts so that they have access to Express EDU, things like that. So, okay, we're not talking about that anymore. You guys did mention that. That's why I brought that up. But there's some great tools in here like Wixie.com and the team building one. I'm going to go take a look at that for some icebreakers and ways of engaging our kids with each other to grow creativity opportunities. So really very good. You guys have a great and Merry Christmas, and congratulations on episode 101. And yes, people, take a listen to this. Like, seriously, if you take one thing out of this, that is awesome, because Geis and Johnson bring it every other week. So very good. All right, guys, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, peace, bye. Thing for December 21, 2021, here, the shortest day of the year, as it is winter solstice. I wanted to share something with you that I'm personally interested in, and has not much to do directly with education, but a whole lot to do with education and how we strive for excellence in the space and the things that we do. And this podcast that I have been listening to for a little bit, I haven't talked about it on FreshAirAtFive because it's not directly educationally related. It's called Beyond the Ordinary, and it's a podcast put on by Red Bull. And Red Bull is that energy drink company, and they also have an extreme sports, area of their company and their organization that looks at, how do we push the limits of things that are extreme and record them and celebrate our human achievement and the things that we can do. And, they sent a guy into space a bit ago. They have, an episode where they talked about the stunt pilot that flew through 2 tunnels. Absolutely incredible to hear what goes into making these stunts happen. What's involved in sharing, in being able to do those things, but then sharing the drive that these people have. So if you're looking for an exciting and interesting podcast and you're kind of into sports and stuff, take a listen to Beyond the Ordinary by Red Bull, and you will find that interesting. So recently, the Formula One racing season for 2021 ended, and I started watching Formula One this year because I found that I could watch it by recording it off of the TV and being able to see it. But I didn't know where to watch it before, and I really like racing. But this year, it was a head-to-head battle between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton of Mercedes and Max Verstappen of Red Bull. And this episode's called The Making of a Champion, Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen's 24 years old, tells a story about how he got to where he is today at the top of Formula One racing. Take a listen, might be encouraged. Okay, have a good day. See you tomorrow. Bye. Hey PLN, December 22, 2021, out for FreshAirAtFive this afternoon, enjoying the warmer and brighter days right now during my winter break. And first off today, my listen is from the EduMagic podcast with Dr. Sam Feshich, and she has on guest Jennifer Lemaitre, and she talks about how to start a small tutoring business and tips for doing so. And so it's fantastic to hear, Jennifer, you talk about your experience in losing your job, but being resilient and bouncing back and figuring out how to provide for yourself and to still meet the needs educationally of that which you got into with your students. So being able to do tutoring and to still grow and work on your craft. So that's so very important. Awesome to hear. And before I was a teacher, before I was even in the teaching program, one spring, I tutored some chemistry students in grade 12 chemistry and made enough money to build a little wooden boat that was super fantastic. And did I undervalue myself at the time? I did. I was doing 2 students for $45 per hour. So I probably should have been charging 60, but confidence at the time wasn't there. I had all my education under my belt as I was a practicing chemist before that, but I hadn't been teaching, so maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's why I undervalued myself. All right, that's all for today right now, And I got another podcast to listen to. But Dr. Sam, fantastic. Thanks for speaking into the lives of future teachers. All right, peace. One more thing for December 22, 2021. I just listened to Lasting Learning podcast with Dave Schmittou as he talks about an educational minefield topic. And today's minefield topic is being too tired to change is a cop-out, and how we have to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves, and being too tired is just saying that, you know, I just can't do anything. Dave challenges us to consider change by subtraction as opposed to addition. Instead of adding more to your plate to affect change, how about take, like, you know, Michelangelo did that chunk of rock that ended up to be, you know, the statue of David that he created, and he just took away anything that didn't look like David, is what he said. Thank you so much for that idea and that image, Dave, as you brought that to the light. So yes, people, if you're too tired to change, don't let that be a cop-out. You can do something about it. Take a listen to what Dave has to say. Challenging. It's fantastic. Appreciate you, Dave. All right. Merry Christmas to you. One last thing for December 22, 2021. Wrapping it up for today for Fresh Air at 5. I listened to EdTech Bites episode 99 with Gabriel Carrillo. And Gabe, congratulations on making it to 99. That's the number of the great one. That's Wayne Gretzky, NHL hockey player. And that's a great place to be. Episode 100 is coming. Looking forward to that. On episode 99, you talk with Chad Belfour about life in 2021, what's going on. And it was great to hear your conversation as you just talked to an educator about what's happening. And tools of 2021 for each of you. And you said... Chad said Google Classroom. I highly agree with that. That's fantastic. And you said Google Slides. I like both of those. I use them for different reasons, obviously for different things. I prepare our school newsletter with my Media Design 11-12 students in Google Slides, and we collaboratively build this thing in an hour and 20 minutes from all of the raw content that comes to me from others in the district, or not in the district, in our school. And I curate it into a Google Doc. And the last Google Doc that I gave my students to say, make this look pretty, was 47 pages long. And just the raw text, not formatted, not made to look pretty or anything like that. And so Google Slides allows us to format the sheet to be 8.5 by 11. And we put page numbers on it, QR codes, short links, all kinds of things like that to make it more palatable to receive this information for families at home. So that's what's going on. My tool of 2021 is Adobe Spark, and as you're paying attention to what's going on with Adobe Spark lately, Adobe Spark is now no longer called Adobe Spark, which really saddens me, and I mourned and I was frustrated, but it's called Adobe Creative Cloud Express. Same great tool, some more features, but there is a subscription that is affecting how free it is, which is a thing. So that's my tool for 2021. I'm not sure what it'll be in 2022. I'm probably still going to be doing graphic design work, maybe Canva, maybe Adobe Creative Cloud Express, but whatever it is, we're going to be creating. All right, peace out. Have a great one, and thanks for having the conversation and sharing with us. Okay, bye. Good morning, PLN. It's December 23, 2021, out for Fresh Air at 5. Early this morning. I was thinking about it yesterday. As I go walking out of my routine time in the day, it just changes my, kind of mindset through the day, and doesn't set me off, for me, on the right, morning path. And so I've been a bit distracted this past couple of days, but I think today it's going to be much better because I'm getting up at it early and getting some professional development in my head as I'm listening to podcasts and exercise for myself before the day really gets going for the rest of my family. All right, so yes, this morning I got out and I listened to episode, I think, 63 of the Tom Schimmer Show. That episode number might be wrong, but it is the first part of a two-part series that Tom Schimmer brings us with his conversation with George Sugai, and I will get into that in a moment. But right off the top, Tom you brought to us, they think they're right about Assessment Corner and how we need to grow confidence in our students and have them approach learning so that they think they're right, and how we leverage confidence with our students so that they can see the feedback and grow from that. If we didn't believe that we were right, we wouldn't put down many of the answers that we put down in a worksheet or some kind of assessment, because that would be us being not confident. But as we give feedback to those things that are in error, we need to be mindful that we need to have the students be confident that they are on a growing path. Teaching growth mindset doesn't work if they don't have the confidence at the outset to even imagine what that's like. So thank you for your examples with your kids about skiing and all those kinds of things. Your interview with George Sagai is inspiring, and I'm looking forward to listening to part 2 as you talk about PBIS, and I'm learning more and more about behavioral interventions that we can use. Happy day. December 23, 2021, out here now delivering papers, and check out this snow. It's awesome, fantastic. Beard's gonna be all snowy white here in a second. I just listened to Innovator's Mindset because of a teacher, 3 questions, and this is the highlights from 2021 that George brings us of administrators who have had an impact in people's lives. And there's a great compilation of what people have to say about administrators. And you know, the administrators that have made a difference are the ones that make a difference. They are the ones that are transformational leaders, that believe in their staff, that make an effort to connect and not just sit in their office and drive policy, but to make a difference in students' lives. And yes, so as a leader, aspiring leader, I need to make sure that I'm making a difference in the people that I am leading, the ones that are following me, not the ones that I'm dragging along, but the ones that are following me, so that the others will follow. All right, George, fantastic. Merry Christmas to you, George, and appreciate the work that you do, because, you know, even though we've actually only talked to each other face to face like 4 times in the past 10 or 12 years since we connected in 2010, you know what? You're with the podcast, it feels like you're right here beside me. I really, really dig that. So thanks for having your podcast. Thanks for reaching out. Thanks for staying connected on Twitter. And people, connect with George if you're not connected. Merry Christmas. That's a Christmas gift from Carpenters. So George Koros, your Christmas gift. Peace out. Merry Christmas. Bye. Hey, PLN, December 24, 2021. It's the day before Christmas, Christmas Eve. And this morning I woke up early. It was dark. It was snowing like crazy. As you can see, we've got a good dusting of snow. Not dusting, but probably about 3 inches of snow. And I was reluctant to get out of bed. Yesterday I said I gotta get out of bed, otherwise it throws my day off. Well, I feel my day's a bit thrown off, but it's okay. It is a break, and that irregularity can be enjoyed and celebrated at times. All right, so this morning, as I'm out for my walk now, I started my walk. It was snowing like crazy, and there was accumulation on my jacket. Can't see it anymore, not even on my pants, but we've got lots of accumulation. Check out this, lots and lots. Right there, we got maybe, I don't know, 1.5 inches. It's melting because it's warm, but I got out for my walk and enjoying my time. What helps me enjoy my walk when I'm out walking and don't feel like it? Listening to podcasts. Listen to my peeps as we're out walking. 2 of my peeps, Che and Pav, on the Che and Pav Show. And hey guys, how are you? Merry Christmas to you, and I hope you're enjoying your break season. I am, and it's all very, very good. So this episode 102 that I listened to was a challenge about the hoodie. The hoodie! I love the hoodie. Love the hoodie. And it's about how the hoodie is perceived in our schools, in our classrooms, and why the hoodie policy is in place, and dress code, stuff like that, and student identity, and student voice. And do we care about their voice? Oh no, but not about their clothes, because their clothes could be offensive, and their voice could be offensive. And a student asked me the other day, she goes, well, if you want to hear our voice, why can't we say what we want to say? I said, that's a good point. and we have to do things appropriately in school so that we're not offensive to others. But maybe that offensive to others is part of student voice. I don't know. That's another conversation. I'm coming right back. Just 1 second. One more thing for December 24, 2021, following up on my reflection about the hoodie policy that was talked about in the hoodies in classrooms that FAAF brought up on the Staff Room podcast. Actually, it's called the FAAF Show now, I think, right? Did you guys change the name? I think you changed the name, FAAF, to talk about the hoodies in the classroom and where's the place for that. And Che, I really liked how you brought up and have the idea about the school volleyball hoodie and how we're not allowed to wear them in school. Well, the team's got the hoodies, but we can't wear them in school because our rule number 4 says no hoodies. But rule number 8 says we can have microwaves. I really like that. I like that a lot. And I like, Che, how you went after it with the student. But unfortunately, did you get into trouble or did the student just get into trouble for challenging that? That's my question. You know, I really like the hoodie. I've got my Under Armour hoodie, got my various hoodies that are non-offensive, I think. I don't know. That, you know, I like to wear, but I don't wear my hood up on my head in my classroom because that's against the rule. But am I allowed to wear a hoodie? Yes, I do wear a hoodie. I wear my hoodies all the time. What does that project about? We're allowed to do this, but not about that. And so I am thinking now about my teacher behavior in the classroom and what my students are asking. One student asked when we were getting our t-shirts, can we get hoodies too? And well, that brings us back to, are we allowed to wear hoodies in our classrooms? I get the whole thing about student engagement and about engaging your classroom so that they aren't hiding in their hoodies, doing something else other than engaging with the content that you're providing to them. So I think that's really important and critical that we have an engaging space so that our culture of our classroom is actually reflective of a learning space as opposed to a conformance space. How is conformance and compliance related to learning? Is it? Or is learning different than that? How are we learning? Okay, I could go on for a long time, but I want to say Merry Christmas to you, Che and Pav. Peace out from here from Abbotsford. And this is my last segment of a podcast listen for before Christmas 2021. Peace, people. Bye. One more thing for December 24, 2021. All right, so if you know me at all, you'll actually know that what I'm going to talk about right now is actually the main thing for me. It's not another thing, it's the main thing. I'm a teacher, I'm a creator, I'm a scientist, I'm a podcaster, but the main thing is that I am a child of God, and I believe in Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And I want to read for you today the story out of the Bible of the birth of Jesus. So here we go, reading from Luke chapter 2, verse 2. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of all the entire Roman world. This was the first census that was taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone went to their town to be registered. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee into Judea to Bethlehem to the town of David because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her son. She wrapped him in clothes and placed him in the manger because there was no guest room available for them. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you, and he is the Messiah, the Lord. This is a sign to you. You'll find the baby wrapped in clothes and lying in a manger." Flipping the page, suddenly there was a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and peace on earth to those whom his favor rests." One last thing for December 24, 21, finishing up the reading from the book of Luke, chapter 2, about the Christmas story, the birth of Jesus. When the angel had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby, who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning him, what had been told to them about this child. But Mary treasured up these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told. And the last thing for December 24, 2021, it is the Christmas Eve out walk, and I'm out walking for Fresh Air at 5, enjoying my walk. And as I'm walking home and reflecting on what has been, I come back to an episode of the Dave Burgess Show, where Dave Burgess, a week ago when I listened, talked about, is Santa Claus real? That's a seasonal question. And it's not about Santa Claus, actually. It's about, what do you bring to a room? So take a listen to that. That's Dave Burgess Show, episode 12. Another listen that I would like to recommend and have you take a listen to today, and to remind you of, I listened to it also a couple weeks ago, was the episode 45 of Science 360 with Tim Stevenson. And Tim Stevenson brings us an astronomer's take on the Christmas star. And you know what? We have things like Silent Night, Holy Night. We have It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, and talks about the Christmas star that was talked about in the Bible and how we want to understand what had happened. So Tim brings us a reflection on that, and I agree with Tim. So I want you to take a listen to see why I agree with Tim, because it's okay for us to not know the answer. All right, that's about all. I'm going to go. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will see you next week, likely. I was thinking about maybe taking a week off, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to continue and start, my reflections right after Christmas on the 26th or 27th or something like that. The 27th, I think, is the Monday, and I'll see you then. All right, peace out. Enjoy your weekend. Family time, hopefully, and take care of yourself and stay safe. All right. Also, get some fresh air, whatever the weather is. Whether it's snowy like where I am, where it's really cold, get outside and get some fresh air for yourself. It's good for you. Have a Merry Christmas. Okay, bye-bye. As my one word for 2021 is appreciate, I appreciate you giving me a listen as I've created this podcast experience for you. It's a unique Blinkist or Coles Notes version of the content I take in, like a highlight reel, so that you can hopefully find other interesting podcasts you may not have considered before. I've recorded the specific podcast episodes in the show notes for your learning convenience. Please subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming episodes. And if you enjoy this podcast and its format, share it with someone else. Tweet about your experience or give it a review on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen to podcasts. Fresh Air at 5 can also be found on Voice Ed Radio. Your voice is right here, and on the Education Podcast Network, podcasts for educators, podcasts by educators. I hope you have a fantastic day and get some fresh air before the day is out, and take care of yourself, because you're worth it.